Hello and welcome to another reading by Tarot by Cassy. This is a collective reading, my beautiful soul peeps and soul fam, and we're doing a new moon in Taurus reading today. So we're currently in the new moon energy, but this is a timeless reading, so it may contain a message for you whenever it is that you come across it or it comes across you. But keep in mind that all readings are general, so take only what resonates, leave what doesn't for someone who needs it. We're doing things a little differently today. I'm going to list all of the cards that I use, all of the decks, in my description. But I am using two decks. The Moon Oracle, which was the second deck that I ever bought for myself, or actually the second deck that I ever owned. The first one I got was a tarot deck that was a gift, and that got me into it. And my beautiful and well-worn Moonology cards that were a gift from my daughter many years ago. So what I have done, the reason this reading is a little different is because I've pulled the cards from both decks for the new moon in Taurus, as I mentioned, and the energy, the overarching energy of this moon, it is a super moon, so you might be feeling quite a big shift in energies. If you are listening to this at the time that it comes out, by the time I release the reading, will no longer be in the new moon, but the energy of the reading will remain the same. So a very reflective sort of energy, a time to pull back into your own body and to experience what it feels like to be in your body. So therefore doing things for self-care that are very physical and visceral, like say maybe having a salt bath, maybe giving yourself a nice foot massage, doing things for yourself that feel like self-care, and being really aware of what it is in your daily routine that is taking from your energy and what is giving back to your energy, and investing more time in those things that give back to you. It can also be about goal setting for long-term intentions and stability. So now is a really good time to list the goals that you have that you would like to see come into fruition over time, particularly ones that are financial, being in Taurus. So that's a couple of little reflections of what this new moon is all about. But as I said, it's a timeless reading, so whenever it comes to you, it may still have a message for you. So we're going to kick off with this first card, Black Moon in Earth, which is dormant, and the keyword is economy. So speaking about prosperity and financial situations, and I will read from the book to see what it means when it is in Taurus. So when the moon loses all its light in an earth sign, there is a slowing down of progress on all fronts. With regard to material projects, this is not a period in which to take out new investments or engage in any kind of risk. It is a period for cutting back on expenses. When the moon is in Taurus, this sign is not very happy to give up home comforts that have been earned through hard work, so there will be a need to apply a greater amount of self-discipline than usual. Perfect, guys, and that even comes into what I was saying about this is a time of reflection. This is a time of looking at what is working for you and what is not. If there is a project that you have been toiling away at for some time, this is not the time when it's going to accelerate, but it is definitely a good time to take slow, steady steps towards its progress. And then new moon in Taurus, prosperity lies ahead, which is a bit of good news after feeling like this one's talking about a lot of slowing. The new moon in Taurus, this card will often come up when you're inquiring about a financial matter or when you're doubting your self-worth. Yep, both things that we've just spoken about. The card suggests, actually I didn't speak about self-worth, but that's another thing about this moon, is it's really a time to focus on what brings you peace of mind, what makes you feel good about yourself, and reflecting on what it is internally that helps you build yourself up, as opposed to focusing on the external and getting your approval from the outside world. So this is really a time to focus on your self-worth, maybe do some mirror work, saying positive affirmations to yourself in the mirror. It can be a really good time for shadow work as well. So if that's something that you're not familiar with, you can absolutely Google it. There is a bunch of shadow work exercises online that you will be able to find, workbooks, all sorts of wonderful things. So now is really a good time to undertake that type of work for yourself. This card suggests that you can have what you want, including material things, but you must believe in yourself. This comes down to the law of attraction. Value yourself and others will value you too. You can create abundance. Taurus is associated with luxurious Venus, and this card holds the new moon energy. So now is a good time to make a 12-month financial plan. So there we go, even just with the goals again. This card can also signal the start of a new relationship or of sexier times. Very nice. If you've been wrestling with something for a long time, the new moon in sturdy Taurus is a sign not to give up just yet. So yeah, as I said, if you've got a project or something that you have been working hard on, now is not the time to give up on it. It's just also not necessarily the time to expect to see results, because we are in this dormant phase of the moon. So the attune to the moon, which is the affirmation for this card, get or give a massage, healthy body, healthy minds. There we are talking about the self-care again. Additional meanings for this card: you will soon be able to afford the thing you're dreaming of. Getting clear on what you value most will help you find peace. Take some time out to pamper yourself. Start a standing order to a savings account, no matter how small. So even if you're just investing $10 into savings at the moment, it's a beginning, and it will be a beginning that is taking place at a time that is ripe for the building of bigger, better things. The teaching for this card: we often feel that it's somehow wrong to focus on our finances, but the truth is that money can make life far more comfortable from a physical point of view. Taurus knows this, and the new moon in Taurus is the time to work your magic to create the money you want, so that you can so that you can have the creature comforts you want. Remember though, that someone else is still wishing for what you already have. So yeah, that's just a little message to be grateful for what you do have currently. And again, spend some time reflecting on where you're at, how far you've come, and how well you are doing in this present moment, because no doubt you are doing probably better than maybe you 5 years ago would have thought that you could do. Hopefully that's the case. If it isn't, it's still a good time to be really grateful for those things that you have. So the small creature comforts, as I said in another reading, if you're watching this, it means that you have access to at least a device to watch it on and the internet. So you are doing better than a lot of people out there. If you have a roof over your head, the ability to have a warm shower, cold glass of water, and a bed to sleep in at night, you are doing well and are out in front of many, many people that are out there. So time to focus on those little things that you do have and the bigger things that you want to bring in. So now we're going to actually get some cards. This Moon Oracle deck has the moon phases, so all of the different phases of the moon through all of the different elements: fire, water, air, and earth. It also has the moon mansion cards. And if I was really good with my star sign symbols, I would be able to tell you which star sign the moon is passing through with these cards, but sadly I am not. That's something I still need to study up on. I'm trying to learn, guys. I am trying to put more energy into learning more things. We've put the numerology and angel numbers up on the wall so that I can at least give you information on them when I pull cards, but still here, still learning. Whole purpose of Tarot by Cassy, to show you that you can read even if you are not a master in spirituality and all of the witchy woo-woo things. And we also have in this deck of cards, my favorite thing, all of the moon goddesses, working through from maiden, mother, and crone. So from the beginning of life to the fullness of life to the ending of life. So we're going to pull some cards from this deck and then a couple more from the Moonology deck as well. We're going to start out with the moon phases cards, asking what do we need to know right now under the energy of this new moon, this beautiful super moon. What do we need to know? What do we need to be working on? So we've already established that it's a good time for goal setting, working out a financial plan, self-care, definitely self-care. That came up a lot in this card here. And taking slow and steady steps towards the progress that you wish to make. Okay. Oops. Disseminating waning water moon fruit, which represents commitment. Might move these down a little. Okay, just a couple more messages from the moon phases, please, Spirit. Balsamic waning air moon seeds concession. So I'm noticing, Yeah, third one as well. Disseminating waning air moon in fruit, which is reputation. So I'm noticing all of these cards are waning moons. I've got 3 waning moons there. So energy starting to dissipate and move away, grow smaller. So this is not a time for building things so much, my beautiful soul peeps and soul fam. This is an energy and a time for allowing things, letting things go, allowing things to move out of your life. What have we got? Disseminating moon, waning in water. Fruit and commitment. This is a time that denotes an emotional gain from developments that have occurred in the past. The crop is now harvested, and it is time to reap the benefits. Within a relationship, this might indicate the birth of a child or any other fruitful development from a partnership. Okay, well, I was a little bit wrong, and I jumped the gun a little bit there in saying that it is a time of letting things go, because this could be a time of moving into the reaping of what you have sown during this time over here in the new moon. So if you have been working on a project, there's something that you have been trying to bring into fruition, it is going to come into fruition, but you need to lay the groundwork first and allow time for this thing to grow. Balsamic waning air moon seeds concession. The sun now lights only a thin crescent on the left of the moon as it nears the end of its monthly cycle. During this period, the concentration of your mental abilities produces the seeds for the future. It is a time for making concessions and adjusting ideas to new circumstances. Yeah, so you may even reap whatever it is, some early fruit from whatever project it is that you have put into place. So this could be a new job, it could be a new business, it could even be a new hobby. It could be a long-standing hobby that you wish to transform into some sort of business or job for yourself. But you could be seeing some early signs of the fruition of this dream, but you're being asked to keep in mind that things are still building. Whatever it is that you are seeing may not seem like a lot at first, but things are still building and going in your direction. It's just going to take some time for these things to fruit and to come into being. And reputation. Disseminating waning air moon, fruit. When the moon reaches this phase in its cycle, the greatest glory has gone before, and this is a time for receiving the fruits of your labors. You have proven yourself to the world, and can now relax in the knowledge that your reputation is established. Yeah, so guys, whatever project it is that you're working on, things are going to come into fruition for you, but it may feel like it's happening very slowly at first, and almost as though you have a gain, and then almost as though it feels like it's being taken away again. Like you might receive some definite information that can tell you that, yes, what you are working on is definitely going to bear fruit. And then it might feel like there's a backward step in whatever it is that you are working on, and you need to make some concessions, maybe rejig your plans, look at things a little bit differently. I'm trying to make these straight, and I don't know if they're straight on the screen. I can't tell from where I'm sitting, but it drives me crazy when I look at the reading after I have finished. But anyhow, guys, that's an aside. But know that your reputation in whatever area it is that you're working towards, and that could quite easily just be your self-worth. It could be in an existing job, and you are questioning where you stand, whether or not you are coming up with the goods, whether or not you're good enough for the job. Your reputation is in very good standing, but you may need to just take a pause on feeling like things are moving forward at this point in time, because it is a very slow moving period, but knowing that all of the seeds that you're planting at this point in time are actually going to bear fruit for you. And especially here with the seeds and the 2 fruit cards, whatever you're working on at this point in time while things are very dormant are going to flower into something really beautiful. You will definitely see rewards from this. So now we're going to move into the Moon Mansion cards and see if we can get a little bit more information on what this thing is that you're working on. And as I said, it could very much be a project of some description, or it could actually just be working on your self-worth, working on how you actually feel within and how you function on the outside. What things do you give your energy to? Are they things that are bringing you fulfillment and a feeling of wholeness, or are they things that are burning you out and taking from you? Because those things will come into fruition as well, but they'll come into fruition through negative health side effects, feeling tired and fatigued, burnt out, not having the energy to give to others or to do the things for yourself that you know that you need to do. Volcano, very, very interesting. Number 1. And she wanted to jump right out. Rebel, number 25. And I just want one more, please, Spirit. And Palace, beautiful, number 3. So again, I'll read from the book for these. Once I find them. One of these days I'm going to be organised. Today is not that day. Actually, it's probably not too bad. I think we're doing okay. So, Volcano. The new moon moves through the house of Aries and touches the rulers of the first 2 decants. I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Decantes. Mars and the Sun. These 2 planets in the first sign are highly creative and initiating. This card expresses inspiration, spontaneity, and recklessness, and indicates a need to act immediately to release power that can be contained no longer. It is a card of extreme action and impatience. This moon mansion is hot, fiery, and full of creative impetus. It represents a period of inactivity during which there is an accumulation of energy that will later erupt like a volcano. Yeah, so guys, this period of inactivity is now. And this card is reassurance that you will get back to creating the fruits of your labors, that what you are building now in this time of inactivity is actually going to bubble up and come forward as really clear signs of your progress, of what you have achieved. You are definitely, whatever you lay down for yourself now in this time of dormancy, whether it is working on your own health, mental health, physical health, your well-being, and or any projects that you are putting your energies toward, it is letting you know that while this time is dormant, you are going to burst forth with inspiration, with ideas and activity, and this thing that you are working on is definitely going to come into fruition. So whatever seed you're planting now, they are going to grow into something absolutely beautiful. The Rebel card, the Uranus and Mercury conjoined in Aquarius, produces an aspect that cares very little for rules and tradition. This card reveals that traditional ideas and old-fashioned views have outlived their usefulness, must be revised and updated. It is essential for the sake of progress to find new ways of looking at things and new ways of working. Yeah, so that tells me again, when I spoke at the very start of this reading about reflecting on what has been working for you, what is giving you energy, what is bringing you down and taking from you. If this card is drawn, there is a potential for exceptionally bright thinking that produces sparks of genius, so that goes back to this volcano card. It indicates a powerful devotion to a cause. You are certain that your position is correct no matter how out on a limb you seem to others. You must be prepared to act totally out of character to achieve your intended aims. And I realised I missed the key phrase for volcano, which was conserve and build up resources. So very much echoing these cards here. Now is the time to conserve and build. And the rebel cause the rebel key phrase, arguing for a cause, eccentric behavior. So it may seem really out of character to some people if you pull back and stop giving and start focusing wholly and solely on yourself. But this is very much a message that this is what the time is calling for you to do. And the palace, key phrase, generous indulgence and showing off. Traditionally, when the moon was in the 3rd lunar mansion, it was thought to be a good time for sea journeys and working with spells of alchemy. Okay, that was just a little aside there. What I meant to read is the expansive planet of Jupiter encourages the pleasure-loving Venus, resulting in an enormous love of the good things of life and enjoyment of hedonistic pleasures. This lunar mansion moves into the beginning of the central Earth sign of Taurus, at which point the planet Venus is pushed to extremes by the expansive planet Jupiter. If you select this card, there is a tendency to exaggeration and overindulgence, and the desire to show your world your pleasure is strong. This card also denotes unthinking extravagance, overgenerosity for effect, and a desire to impress. So I feel like that's asking you to just really focus on yourself at this time, my beautiful soul peeps and soul fam, to focus on what is good for you, what is healthy for you, knowing that everything is going to come into fruition at a later date, and you will feel as though you are upgrading from a home to a palace in terms of your material wealth and prosperity that is coming in, but not to overindulge and not to show off. To really, if you're going to overindulge in anything, things that are private and for you, so self-care things. So like I said, any sort of really physical, visceral type of self-care, things that make you feel really good. So having a beautiful bath and then wrapping yourself up in a lovely snuggly blanket and watching a movie that you love. Maybe baking a really delicious cake and taking some time to sit down with a slice of that cake and savor it and enjoy it. But to really enjoy the finer things in life, but not to do that for the sake of showing anybody anything, to do that just for yourself so that you can actually have the most enjoyable experience that you can bring in for yourself. And now we're going to ask the goddess cards from this deck, which goddess presides over this reading. Just going to move these up so you guys can see the next lot of cards that I pull out. We just want one goddess, please. Spirit, what goddess and what energy is presiding over this reading? Haven't had a lot of luck with jumping cards lately. I feel like I need to shuffle differently to make cards come out for me. You know what? I just split the deck by accident there, so I'm just going to take it. We have Kali. So Kali is very, very extreme in the way that she does things. She is the goddess of war and is very much... I know that she's in Sagittarius. That one I know because that's me. She is all about taking no prisoners in the way that she does things. Kali. Key phrase. If you fight it, you will have to pay the price. Okay, so very, very interesting with these cards here calling for you to take a rest, take a pause, spend time in reflection and relaxation and doing what is best for you. If you fight it, you will have to pay the price. Drawing the goddess Kali reveals that whatever your opposition, you must pursue a policy of no mercy if you wish to achieve success. Action without inhibition is demanded, and you will need to be ruthless in sticking to your plans, which makes me think of this card with the 12-month financial plan. However, it is important to realize that if you gloat over the defeat of your opponents, then something you value will be lost, and that makes sense here with the palace and the need to show off and to experience hedonistic pleasures, overindulgence, and gloating to others. Now is not the time to be gloating. Now is the time to be withdrawing into yourself and focusing on what is best for you. As with all the black goddesses, you will not find a solution in which you come out of the matter unscathed. Often with the appearance of Kali in a reading, the old astrological answer to a bad moon position in horary questions, no good will come of it, will apply. Kali is the most drastic of the black goddesses, and in her death and rebirth role, seeks to destroy all that is thought to be a threat to survival. The blunt and adventurous quality of fire in Sagittarius searches for the ultimate truth no matter how or where it is to be found. If the card Kali is selected, then December will be an auspicious month with regard to the question. So yeah, I really feel that this is all about slowing down and having to fight the temptation to make a point to others, to show off, to be extravagant outwardly in any way. I think this is all about laying the groundwork for something that you will be experiencing the fruits of at a later time, and that very well could actually be in December. But you will have to fight for what it is that you want. So if it's trying to increase your self-worth, that may not come very easily to you. You may be someone who is typically very down on yourself and talks down to yourself and about yourself. Often it could be that you are starting a project, but it isn't moving very fast at this point in time, and so you feel that you are not good enough and what you're putting out there is not going to achieve success. Kali is very ruthless in going after what she wants. So this is asking you to be ruthless in setting these goals, planting these seeds, and be very confident in knowing that these things are going to come into fruition for you, this prosperity, the abundance, the feelings of self-worth, but you are going to need to lay low for the time being, maybe step out on a limb, rebel against what society is used to you doing or what society thinks that you should be doing in order to take a different path so that you can actually prosper. And it could be both a project and your self-worth. It could definitely be both things at the same time. But if you are ruthless towards others, it could come and blow back on you. So it's very much a time to be introverted, to focus on what is within, leave the outside world to its own devices, and just focus on what is best for you, my beautiful soul peeps and soul fam. So now I'm just going to grab a couple of Moonology cards to close this reading out. Don't let your past hold you back, South Node. And so I feel that very much whatever it is that you've experienced in the past, like I said, if it's negative, a negative self-image, negative self-talk, it's time for you to move on from that and onto newer and better and bigger things. So it could even be that you're rebelling against, say, family who have written your story and have left you feeling like you are less than, and in actual fact, you are wonderful and amazing, and it's time to rebel against that story. It could be that you have tried to bring things into fruition in the past for yourself in whatever project you are working on, and it hasn't come to fruition yet. So you're being asked not to let your past hold you back, and to know the full moon in Libra, a win-win outcome is forecast. So it could be that you build upon your self-image, but you don't have to give up the people that you care about that maybe have written that story for you that isn't what you want to live with for the rest of your life. And your dreams need a practical plan. Full moon in Taurus. So that is basically a full circle right back around. We're in the new moon in Taurus at the moment, going over to the full moon in Taurus, which is exactly what all of these cards are speaking about. Creating a plan, writing down your goals, creating a financial plan if that feels like it resonates with you for the time being, or it could just be a self-care plan. It could be just writing down goals for things that you want to see come to fruition in the future, but that are going to take time. So things that you know that you can't bring about by tomorrow. But guys, whatever you are working on in this moment, whether it is something for yourself, whether it is something that you can give to others like a business or a service, definitely now is the time for self-reflection, lots of planning, quiet, busy work, focusing within, and then going after what it is that you want with a lot of inspiration, activity, this release of the volcano, when the time is right, when that moon is full, things will be realized for you. Whatever work you're putting in at this point in time is definitely going to bring about positive outcomes for you. It's just a time of moving slowly and looking within. So if you've stuck with me this long, thank you so much. Feel free to throw a little emoji or something in my comments so that I know that you watched the full reading and that it resonated. If it did resonate, please chuck me a like. I would be really appreciative if you did. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so that you can be part of my little itty bitty vibe tribe. And if you have, thank you so much. I appreciate you very, very much. And I look forward to reading for you again on another day. If you want to get some more information around this or any other subject, I've got plenty of readings up on my channel. They're all timeless, so go back, take a little look, and I will see you at another time in another reading. Bye.